and welcome to Grandad's Reviews. In this video, I'm going to carry on my theme of looking at using Canon EF lenses on your Fuji cameras, using the Fringer EF-FX Pro 2 adapter. So this time I thought I'd do a slightly different test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and do some real-world photography and video just to see how these lenses work with the Fuji. I'm going to look at a couple of other lenses. Now, right off the bat, if you're a Canon shooter who's moving over to Fuji or getting a Fuji and you want to use your Canon lenses, if you've got these two lenses, then that's perfect. But if you're thinking, oh, I could purchase these lenses that might be good for my X camera, I wouldn't actually bother, but I'll look at the lenses. So first off, I've got the Canon 24-105. So it's a good range. It does extend a little bit, but not too much. But it's a fair weight of a lens. It's stabilised as well, and I've used it, and the images are excellent. But what you're paying for this, even second hand, I would say if you're looking for this focal length or you're looking for a lens like this for your X series, as I say, if you've already got it, yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't, just use it. You don't need to look for anything else. But if you haven't got something in this range, then this is a very expensive lens. When you compare it to what I think is the similar kind of range, I was looking at the 16-80 as being compatible between the two, and yeah, it's a little bit wider but not quite as long. But the 18-135, you can pick this lens up a lot cheaper than the 24-105 Canon, new. Even cheaper than getting a second-hand 24-105. Okay, it zooms out a bit more, but we've got that little extra wide and a little bit extra on the long end. Again, it's stabilised. Image quality from this is excellent, same as the Canon. And the other lens I've got, and these all been lent to me by a friend who's a big Canon shooter, is this one, which is a 16-35. Now both this and the 24-105 is an f4 lens. So if you're comparing it to 18-135, this one is 3.5 to 5.6. So a little bit slower on the long end. Whereas both these are fixed f4. Again, very heavy lens, doesn't change in length when you zoom, stabilised again. If I was looking for something in this range and I was looking at buying something of this price, I would personally go for the 16-55 2.8 Fuji lens, faster aperture, smaller lighter lens and considerably cheaper. Or the 18-55. Okay, you've got 2.8 to f4, so it's faster zoomed in and still f4 when zoomed out. So similar range to this. So what we'll do is test this one. As I say off the bat, if you own these two lenses, then yes, I wouldn't sell them or go out and buy the 16-55 Fuji. I'd keep these and use these on my Fuji. But if you don't own any in those range, I wouldn't go out and buy the 16-35 or the 24-105 Canon, because you'll be better off buying the 16-55 and the 18-135, and you'll probably get both of those for the same price as one of these. So we'll go out, we'll do some tests, and then we'll see what we get and see what conclusion we come to. So let's go out. Right, so let's try now the 16-35. We'll try it in video. I'm not going to use it for vlogging because it's a big heavy lens and it ain't going to work for that. So what we'll try it on is iron face detecting video, AFC, and just see how it goes. So let's get close and then let's walk away. And then what we'll do is we'll try it in stills and see what happens. I'll just walk back to it and see how good it goes. And I'm recording the screen again so we can see if it's losing my face or gaining my face or whatever it's doing. So we'll walk out of shot. We're at 16mm at the moment. So let's do it a wide open at f4. So we're going to change it to 35mm. So 35mm, f4, everything else the same. I've got it on single point AF rather than area. And see how that was. So now we'll do it in stills. We're going to start on the distance one. We're at 16mm f4. We're at the far distance. So as I touch the screen, we'll see the box move, and then we'll see how quick it takes to focus on that. And we'll go over to there, back over to here. We'll go to that tree down there. And back to here, and back to there. So, pretty quick. Doesn't hang about. Like so. So what we'll try now is we'll see how the stabilization works. So we've got stabilization off at the moment at 16mm. We'll just do a far and near zoomed out. We're at 35mm here. And yeah, it's pretty snappy. Right, so I'll turn that off. Get a full size on it. I'll try the OIS on and see what if it works. In here, I've got stabilisation off. Zoom on this plant here. So that's off. That's on. Go to fifth. Stabilisation on. One second, shall we? Stabilisation on. There we go. Right, so let's try another lens. Right, now we're on the 24 to 105. So right, we're on auto again, f4. Everything the same for video. Right, so we're on the 24 to 105 Canon. We've got eye detect on. Continuous autofocus, single spot. Does it lose me? When does it lose me? This is on 24mm. And we'll come out of the shot and come back into the shot. Let's zoom out to 105. So 105. Don't know what this video is going to be like. And we'll come back. Go out of shot. Come back into shot. Right, that's video. Let's do stills and we'll do the near to far shot test again and see what happens. Let's try that. Put this to AF. Go far. Close. Go to the car. Go to the tree. Go to the house. Get here again. There again. To the tree. Not too bad. Oh, a little bit hunty there. But so we are losing the light. And that seems pretty quick. So let's try handheld shot. We've got stabilization off at the moment. So let's see what we can do. Same little thing. We'll go right out to 105. So stabilization's off at the moment. So we're at 80th. iOS off. Let's switch the iOS on. That's at 80th. And let's take that down to 15. Let's try and take it a second. 1 second.
There's a small filter.
Well, let's do one more handheld test. I'll just take some handheld shots at 105 with stabilization on and off, and we'll see what it looks like. This is with stabilization off at 105. And then we'll stick stabilization on. As you can see, stabilization does seem to work. Let's try it at a different spot. So stabilization off. Stabilization on. So there we go. That was the 24-105 and the 16 to 35 for Canon and the 10 to 18. Tried a vlogging test, we've tried some stills tests, video tests on each one. So let's get them back in the computer and see what conclusions we come to. See you back at the computer. So we've got the footage into the computer and had a bit of a look at it, and from what I can see, when it comes to stills, the AF on the 16 to 35 seems a little bit better to the 24 to 105, but when we go back into video, I believe it swaps over, and the 24 to 105 in video just seems a little bit quicker and a little bit more sticky than the 16 to 35. On both lenses, the image stabilization works really well. It really does make a difference, though can't quite hold it 1 second, but didn't expect to really, but I thought I'd give it a go. So as lenses that you can use on your Fuji camera, if you've got them, if you're already a Canon user and you've got these lenses, I don't see any reason to get rid of them, to change them. They're quite usable and will do you very well. But if you haven't got them, I wouldn't go out and buy them, as I said at the introduction. But I think it was a good experiment just to see how these lenses work on the Fuji cameras, and yeah, I'm being quite impressed with the Fringer adapter. It does seem to work quite well. Not perfectly, but I didn't expect it to be perfect. But yeah, it's doing quite well. So that's my look at the Canon 16 to 35 and 24-105 attached to the Fringer EF-FX Pro 2 adapter on my Fuji X-T3. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see any more videos like this, hit the subscribe button If you want to be notified, hit that notification bell. Till next time, see you later.